Hello, my freshmen. Sorry about the little delay in getting this video out to you guys. I was rather ill last night, so I tried to help recover and get my voice back to a good spot today, and I think I'm there. It is a virtual day, so as per normal, I would encourage you to take a moment to pray just for your learning today. If you haven't already, maybe pause the video and continue from there. We'll try to keep this one pretty short. All right, y'all, so I hope you had a chance to pause the video. Our objectives today is simply just our last couple lessons worth right there. We want to go back and review verb tense a little bit, as well as the correct forms of be, have, and do. That's the video you guys are watching right now. One thing I will point out is that at the end of this video, I will take a look at today's assignment, the little quiz you see in Schoology 2, so I can help you out as much as possible on that thing. I would like for you to finish your quiz today. I think I set it to be due by midnight. I know I'm a little bit late on getting this out to you. It's a real simple one, as we'll look at later in this video. So let's go back to our lesson here. Lessons 3-4 review video is the one you're watching now. And I have put our review PowerPoints in there too. I'll try to move through these rather quickly so I can maybe just give some pointers on how tense and those tricky verbs go. I'm just going to click view so we can look at it in Schoology. And let's zoom out a bit. There we go. So tense is what we covered towards the end of last week. We did a little bit of brushing up on Monday or yesterday as well on this. As a reminder, tense is simply the form of a verb, tells us when the action or state of being happened. This is English's main way of identifying time within a sentence. As a reminder, the principal parts of what we use to form those tenses. So base form is just the verb itself, whether it's jump or walk or bake or type or play. Its present participle is its ing form. We are going to add a form of be as a helping verb there. It's like I am baking a cake. For instance, am baking would be the present participle. Past tense form, for a lot of verbs, we add ed or d to the base form to make it past tense. As we mentioned in class, there are some verbs that have spelling changes instead. So like eat changes to ate instead of eated, run changes to ran, speak changes to spoke, and so on. So this is just a rule of thumb. It doesn't apply to every single verb. Past participle is going to be its past tense form, but then it also has a helping verb have or has or had, as we see in the examples there. We've also covered the two types of verb tenses. There's the simple tenses, that's just past, present, future, and then the perfect tenses, which are a little more complex. Present would just be for situations that exist now. So I could say something like, I walk to school every day. That's present tense. Past tense, I walked, past tense, to school every day. Places it at an earlier time. Future is something that has not happened yet. I will walk to school tomorrow. I will walk or I am going to walk would both be future tense. Will is a little more common. The perfect tenses are a little more complex, as we mentioned a moment ago. The present perfect is going to use the helping verb has or have, along with the past tense verb. Even though it's present perfect, it is identifying something that took place in the past, but it implies that it could still be happening. I have walked to school before, right? That implies that I've done it before in the past, but I could continue to do it today. Past perfect is for events that happened far in the past, something that took place before another past event. I had walked to school before I bought a car, right? There's two past events in that sentence. There's when I bought a car, but then before that point, my hands are backwards here. There's when I bought a car, that's in the past, but before that point, I had walked to school. That helping verb had right there is what helps us to identify what happened first. Future perfect is something that will take place before another future event. This one's really rare in English. I will have walked to school by the time I buy my car, right? Neither of those things have happened just yet, but future perfect helps me to identify what will happen first and what will happen next. Again, look for that helping verb will have there for future perfect. The answers show up on this slide, so I'll just fly through it, and then we'll move on to the other review today. As it says, write the tenses of the verb phrase in each sentence. Number one there, we had ordered tickets would be the past perfect. We see ordered as past tense. We see had is its helping verb right there. That had as a helping verb is telling us we've got the past perfect tense. Nothing will happen while we wait. That's the future So there's actually two in there. Will happen is future tense. Wait is present tense there. So we actually have two tenses reflected in the same sentence. Again, look for that helping verb will. That will tell you whether you're dealing with the future tense or the future perfect. You have not started. Helping verb have there places it in the present perfect right there. Have started would be our verb phrase. Not is an adverb there. That's the present perfect. He will have, notice will have, helping verbs, waited. That's the future perfect tense. Again, I recommend you use your notes for tense to help you identify these ones. There is a guide on how to spot those helping verbs in your notes already. Let's go back a bit here. The other one that we want to review today is the lesson that we just did on Monday. That would be be, have, and do. So, as a reminder, be, have, and do. There are different forms for different subjects and different tenses. There's a reason why they got their own lesson. It's because they are a little bit tricky from a spelling perspective, and because they're really common verbs in our language. So, it's really important to identify these ones and know how to work with them. They can also be used as both main verbs and helping verbs, which are a little bit tricky. Potatoes are delicious. That's using it as a main verb, using are, or a form of to be, as a main verb. We are growing, helping verb, potatoes. So notice that are, really any form of be or have or do. They can be helping verbs as well. We have to identify how they're used. A lot of how these work has to do with subject-verb agreement as well, which we'll touch base on next week. Let's see how they work. We won't have or has lots of time to relax. If we listen to both of those out loud, use that plug and chug method that we tried on Monday, we should identify that have is the correct sounding verb in this sentence. We won't has lots of time to relax sounds wrong. It's because have is our correct main verb there. There, have is being used as an action verb, means to possess. We won't own a lot of time to relax. This weren't or this wasn't the best day to be late. This one's going to be wasn't right there. This weren't the best day doesn't sound right. Here, was is being used as a main verb. It's used as a linking verb between this and day. Do or does the class know about the test? This one's actually going to be does because class is singular. It's a collective noun like we talked about at the beginning of this semester, so it's singular. Does is singular. Here it's a helping verb though. Know is the main verb, it's the action verb. The class does know, does is a helping verb for know there. The teachers have or the teachers has stayed after and am or are happy to help. This one's a 2 for 1 right here. We should be able to identify that it's have first. Teachers is plural. We're going to use have plural. That one's a helping verb too because stayed is the main verb. They have stayed. That's present perfect tense. And are, plural, happy to help. There are as a main verb. It's just connecting teachers with happy as a linking verb. For the sake of time, I feel like that's enough review for now. Let's take a look at our quiz and then we'll call it a day. And I'll click preview. So this quiz only has 6 questions on it. It's exactly 2 matching to start, 2 fill in the blank, 2 multiple choice, so some different ones as they go. The first 2 questions all have to do with tense. So for instance, question 1, match the form of the verb drop, that's the verb we're dealing with, to its principal parts. It's probably easiest to go in order. So like drop, for instance, is its base form, and then it becomes pretty easy to work through its past tense form, its participles, and so on. Question 2 is dealing with a different verb. We did enjoy, but each of these sentences uses enjoy in a different tense. So for here, we just have to identify which one is which. So we enjoyed the Super Bowl halftime show. Laura enjoys playing soccer. Notice these are different tenses here. Family will enjoy, Marco had enjoyed, freshman has enjoyed, she will have enjoyed. You just have to match which one is which on here as you're working. It's easiest just to click and then click on or type in the letter that you want. So enjoyed, for instance, is past, simple past. 3 and 4 are both using the verb be. It says use the correct form of be to complete the sentence. You blank, my favorite student. You should just be able to click on the blank and then click on the word you want to use. So whichever one you think is the correct form of be to complete that sentence, you might want to plug and chug and see which one sounds the best in there. Same thing for number 4. 5 and 6 are both multiple choice. 5 has to do with the form of have. So you'll notice we have a blank there. It's a matter of selecting which verb or which form of has makes the most sense within that sentence. Our soccer team blank 3 games next week. Has, had, have, or hasn't. And then question 6, which form of do best completes the following sentence? Same thing here. I hope my students all blank very well on this quiz. Select the form of do that makes sense within this sentence. Again, it's a short quiz. I hope that taking a look at individual questions was helpful for you. A couple of freebies on there to help you get started. Otherwise, this will be something that I hope you do really well on as you complete it today. We'll move on to a new verbs lesson on Wednesday and Thursday. Peace.